welcome to the Lake Agassiz two-cylinder club video. I'm Stan Sandman, president of the Lake Agassiz two-cylinder club. Our two-cylinder club consists of about 60 board members who are interested in collecting and restoring and preserving antique tractors, basically John Deere tractors. This organized our club back in the winter of 91-92 and have been in existence for 7 years. We meet 6 times a year, every other month. And in the spring of the year, we'd have a banquet, and then in July, a picnic. And then we start with our second annual two-cylinder and antique tractor display at West Acres Mill at Fargo, North Dakota. Without further ado, please sit back, relax, and enjoy our show at West Acres Mill.
My name is Cliff Storsbed. I live in Fargo, and this is a 1948 G that I restored. I restored it in 1995. This was kind of a basket case when I got it. It needed tires. It needed a lot of elbow grease to get it going. And over here I've got a 1936A. And the story behind this has got more of a history in that my uncle bought this new in 1936. He bought it in Sioux City, Iowa, and he farmed in Centerville, South Dakota. He died in 1978, and I knew this one was sitting in a cow pasture with other machinery, and my cousins who were doing the farm work were going to clean up all this machinery and sell it to a junk dealer, so I bought it from them. And the engine was stuck, the brakes were rusted shut, no tires on it, so it too was a basket case. But this is my favorite tractor, and this is the one that I'll probably be the first one to take to a tractor show or something. And I've got nine plows. I've got plows for each tractor, plus a few extra. But it seems like it's a hobby that never ends.
Hi, I'm Roland Sandman from Detroit Lakes and grew up by Holly, and my brother Stanley, and he's John Deere crazy, if you please. And I got a couple of them. I got my dad's 1937B, which I restored, but I don't have it here. And this is a 37G, a little bit rare because it was the 503rd one made. And I got it from my friend, Ori Gilbertson at Rolog. And I've had it about 5 years, and I restored it. Didn't have to go through the engine, but fixed up bearings and all that. And how is it they say you can tell them price, or the men from the boys, by the price of their toys, right? Yeah. Anyway, it's quite a tractor. And if you'll follow me with the camera just a little bit, and you'll see the frame here has a kink in it. And for what reason? And it's narrower than the radiator. But they came out with this G, and it was going to be made for the mounted machinery that fit the A and the B. And so the farmers could buy this larger tractor with the old machinery that would mount on this frame. So that's kind of interesting. And then if you'll follow me this way, please. And then these weights are in memory of my dad. They're 161 pounds, and it was used on the B that I had. And then I wanted something in memory of my dad, so I made him fit this tractor. And I always wish today I'd be strong enough to lift these, 161 pounds. Well, the day has come and gone when I could have lifted them, and now they're almost too heavy because of my age. But life is good with John Deere, and the Lord, of course. And that's about all I have to say. It's a nice tractor. Just one point of interest, and you see the green color, and it was painted with about 25 cans of John Deere spray paint, and it turned out pretty well. It's an enjoyable piece of machinery. Thank you. Hello,
My name's Brian Gunderson. I'm from Cummings, North Dakota. My tractor's it's a 1945 John Deere Model B. It's my first restoration that I did. I did it about 8 years ago. Had the engine totally gone through at a John Deere dealership, and paint and body work I had done by my brother, who's a professional body man. So it ended up looking pretty nice, I guess. And I use it for parades, I use it for tractor pulling, and I use it around the yard. So this is the first show I've had it in, so it took a lot of cleaning up to get it presentable, I guess. So, but it was well worth it, and I hope to be back next year.
I'm Kenny Floggen. I live here in Fargo. I'm retired from the Air National Guard after 36 years. And I was collecting toy tractors, toy John Deeres. And I didn't have any more room for toys, so I went into the big tractor. This particular tractor was the first one of the first tractors that I learned to drive as a kid. So it's a 1939 Model B, and I bought it at an auction sale in 1994. I restored it and had it in the John Deere Expo at Rolog in 1994. And I use it at my lake cottage to launch my dock, put it in and out of the water, haul some branches and stuff like that, but basically it's just a toy that I keep up and enjoy owning.
I'm Bert Borgen. I'm from Turley in Moorhead, Minnesota. I got this tractor from my brother's girlfriend, and I've redid it. She's prouder than I am of it. G. Moline, not very many of them around anymore.
How long did you have it?
I've only had it for 2 years.
And did you restore it, or?
I restored it all. I did everything. Anything more you want?
Can you just tell us how much time it took, or anything interesting about it?
I've had this tractor apart 5 times because first one thing was wrong and then another thing was wrong, and the last thing I did, I completely overhauled it and repainted it, and now I hope I'm done with it.
And you enjoyed every minute of it?
Oh yes, yeah. Great way to retire. This tractor comes from a junkyard in northern Minnesota. I bought it like 2 years ago. I paid $50 for it, and I've completely gone through everything on it. And very rare. The ZB, there was only 500 of these made, of this particular kind.
Wow.
I don't think I ever want to do another one of them, though.
Is this one hard to find parts for?
Yes, it is. Yeah, this is tough to find parts for.
My name is Gerald Stange. Everybody calls me Jerry. This is one of 3 tractors that I own. The reason I have this International B, we had one on the farm back in 1941 through 47. This one happens to be a 1947 B. It has about 14 horsepower in the drawbar and 18 in the belt. It's a very useful tractor for garden type cultivation. For example, in the early days, these were the tractor for sugar beets, row crops, 22-inch rows and so on. The reason I have this tractor, it's kind of a joke. I bought another one and restored it for the international show at Rolog, and right after the show I sold it. And my grandchildren almost disowned me because they liked that little B. A child can drive this very nicely. And so I started hunting for another one, and so I didn't restore this. This is exactly the way it came to me. I bought it from a friend up at Thief River Falls. Didn't even know he wanted to sell it. And he really priced it good to me, much cheaper than what I had in the one I restored. Restoring a tractor like this will cost you up to 6 times of what its original cost was. This one was the one we purchased in 1941, was a plain B with a cultivator, two-row cultivator, and a 25V mower that mounted on the drawbar. We got all of that for less than $600. And like I say, 6 times that is nothing to put in just a tractor alone to restore it, like it looks today. The other tractors I have is a family tractor, a John Deere B 1949, purchased new by my father in 1950. I also have a 1951 WD Alice Chalmers, so I'm what they call a multicolored collector.
My name is Dean Nelson. I live at Detroit Lakes, and this is a 1938 B Alice Chalmers tractor. I've only owned this tractor a couple of years, and I bought it to mow grass with, and I use it right along. And this engine over here I've owned since back in the 60s. When I bought that engine, it wasn't running, and the guy wanted $5 for it. And I bought it to use I had a little saw rig on it, and I sawed up wood and kindling. They were built, this is a 1926, and they were built mainly for pumping water, but they also used them for cleaning grain and light work on the farm before electricity came in. The H. John Deere is a 1941 model. I've owned that one for about 10 years, and I don't use it, I just play with it. I don't use it for any work. But it's one of the smaller tractors that John Deere built.
What's your favorite part about restoring?
Well, it's interesting, and you meet a lot of good people, and it's fun. It's like I say, it's if you're interested in the old tractors and machinery, why it's relaxing work.
I'm Jim Zeller. I'm from Fargo. I have 4 tractors here. This is the 1949 Oliver cleat track that I bought that was pretty bad shape when I got it, but I did a lot of work on it. Same with this next tractor is a 37B, and that was pretty much a basket case when I bought it too. But I didn't fix them up to make any money. It was a hobby. You know, it's something I did as a stress reliever. It was not something I planned on making some money on. The last one I did is the one on the end's a 720, and it's I don't know. It's maybe the last one I'll ever do, I guess. I'm not going to promise you that. I didn't promise my wife that I was going to quit this year, but she's after me to quit spending money on these tractors. So maybe the 720 will be my last one. So 520 is probably my favorite tractor. That's that, I guess, if I had to give them all up but one, I'd keep the 520.
Is it time consuming?
Well, it takes quite a bit of time. I think maybe more time consuming is money consuming. It just depends on how you want to do it. I basically take them all apart and clean them up, and it runs into a lot of time that way. It also gets quite spendy. Some people don't go quite to the extent that I have on these, but and their tractors are as good as mine. It's just that it's my way of doing it, I guess.
But it's therapy for you, huh?
Well, that's what I figured. It was come home from the stress of the job, and it wasn't hard to go spend 5-6 hours out in the evening. You could forget about what you did today and what you're going to do tomorrow, and you stuck it in this tractor. But so that was my therapy.
Oren Ingen from Holly. This tractor here is a 41 Model B John Deere. My father-in-law bought this tractor brand new in 41, May of 41, and had it all the time until he passed away in 85 and was sold on the auction. And 10 years later, I located that tractor and bought it back. And it hadn't been run for 8 years. It sat outside. So then I tore it down completely right to the frame and overhauled the engine and sanded and primed everything and put it back together and got it running, and I had it finished about a year ago. And had it in a parade in Holly last year, and now we got it up here, and so it's just kind of a toy. I don't know what else to say about it. It's kind of a family nostalgia type thing, you know, because of my wife's dad buying it new, so it was kind of fun to get it back again. I had a hard time convincing the guy that to buy it, you know, because he wanted to keep it and use it for parts. And I thought, well, there's a lot of tractors you can use for parts. And so after talking to him 2 or 3 times, he finally conceded to selling it back to me so I could restore it and kind of keep it back in the family. So I was kind of glad of that.
My name is Stanley Sandman. I'm from Holly, Minnesota, and I'm the president of our two-cylinder club, Lake Agassiz two-cylinder club right now. And I got 3 tractors up here at the display at West Acres. This is a 1953 Model 40T John Deere. What's different about this one, it's got the 2-cylinder upright engine and a foot clutch 4-speed transmission. And we purchased this one at Brainerd, Minnesota about 7-8 years ago. Kind of a neat tractor. This next one, here's a little LA John Deere, and they weren't very popular around here. It was about one of the smallest tractors John Deere built. This one happens to be a 1944 model, and this has also got a 2-cylinder upright engine, a foot clutch, and a 3-speed transmission. These were used for mowing on county ditches, and the state had some in just small truck farming. We bought 4 of these up at Finland, Minnesota, north of Duluth. That's about 10, 12 years ago. And we got 2 of them left. They're kind of a fun tractor. Okay, this is a 1950 AR John Deere. This is A regular or A standard. And this one was purchased in Mandan, south of Mandan, North Dakota. And they weren't very popular around this area. Western North Dakota, Montana, and up in Canada, you saw a lot of these tractors. They're mainly a tractor for a plow tractor, digger tractor. This one doesn't have any hydraulics. It's just a pulling tractor, and it's kind of a fun tractor to have and drive around in. I've enjoyed restoring tractors, and got another 30 tractors at home too. Some to restore, some restored, and have a lot of fun with it.
I'm Vivian Storsved. We're from Hindrum, and this is my husband Alton Storsved. We're retired and moved from Harwood out to the farm.
Yeah, this is a 54 CAL, and I bought it about five years ago, and this is my mower tractor. And I didn't really do any restoring on it. It was pretty much the way it is. I did some cleaning up on it, and little painting, and that's the way she sits. And that Moline over there, that's I was purchased by a neighbor when I was a kid in 1940, and I bought it at a estate sale in 93. And that is one of the most complete original engines tractors around. In fact, I believe the tires are original, because that was used for light duty work. I don't think it ever had a plow behind it. And I believe he quit farming in the mid-70s, and it was stored since then. And it hadn't run till I bought it. And so all I had to do on that was a good cleaning job and sandblast and paint it, and that's the way she sits. And engine is good shape. All I did to the engine, I set the valve tappets, which were quite loose. And when he'd stored it, he'd poured it full of oil, so when it did start, it smoked like a house of fire. It has to smoke since, so there's no cancer involved in that one. And that's about all there is on it. I finished it last winter, over winter. I painted it and got it put back together again. And it's a nice running tractor. There is a little problem with the ring gear. It's a little bad in one spot. Other than that, it runs good.
My name is Jerry Skoleski, and I inherited this 1950 International WD6 from my father. And he bought this tractor when I was 12 years old. And the thing I remember, I guess the most about this tractor is that I was so small that when I shifted the tractor in order to push the clutch in, we had to brace our butt against the seat of the tractor in order to have enough power to push the clutch in. And this tractor it starts on gasoline. So it got a little tank here. It's got a couple levers you have to adjust up there. And it starts on gasoline, and you warm it up on gasoline. And then you pull up, after a couple of minutes, you pull those two levers up, and then it switches over to a diesel. So then it runs on diesel when it's working. And back in those days, diesel fuel was quite a bit cheaper than gasoline, and they were a little bit more economical than the gasoline tractor. And this is a standard tractor. It virtually, many of them you see like our farmhole tractors, which are more versatile for row crop. This is a standard tractor. And where I was born and raised at Powers Lake, North Dakota, we had a lot of cattle, and we didn't farm too much, so it was mostly used on balers and for making hay. So you really didn't need the row crop type tractor. And the standard worked out really good for farming and stuff like that there. And it had, I guess when I was 12 years old, it had all the power. I thought it was the biggest tractor ever made at that time. But no, it was really enjoyable. But last summer we tore it down to enter into row log in the international days. And when I got it from my father, it was late in the fall. And I think we worked till 2 o'clock every morning to get it done and get it labeled. We labeled the thing the day that we were supposed to take it out to row log for the first parade. So it was a lot of hard work, but our adrenaline was pumping so bad. I mean, there was just no end to it. And we really didn't put in a lot of new parts. The tractor was really good shape when we got it. It was pretty much sitting in the shed, and we just painted, and that's what you got today.
My name is Warren Skoleski. This is a 1944 A John Deere. I bought it from my father, and he had it sitting in the trees for the last 20 years because it had a cracked head on it. We restored a WD6 1950 year before that, and then decided to do the A John Deere after that. And brought it in the shop, turned into a long, tedious project. Stripped it all down, so there's nothing left to it. Tore the engine apart completely. Sandblasted it. Then we started putting it back together. Had a lot of help from a gentleman in Barnesville by the name of Benny Hovelsrud. That helped us put all the major components back together. That's about it. Now we just have fun and enjoy it. That's it.
I'm Charlie Hardy from Fargo. We have 3 exhibits this weekend. My grandson Danny LeClaire from Agassiz displayed the H, and my grandson Joshua from Fairmont displayed the A, and I displayed the 1951 R. The A is a 51 model, which is a very low hour tractor. It's less than 200 hours in this tractor. It's been in storage 28 years, and we We found it at an auction, and it runs like a new one. It is a new one. And the H is a 1941 model, and it too was fully restored. It's a hand cranker, but it runs very good. The R is a 1951, and the unique part about the R, the tires were shipped in from Poland in order to be the original tires for the R John Deere, and it's a good runner and a good puller. So it's fun to restore. We have two more at home. We have the B and the G, so we have the 1 bottom through the 5 bottom size, and they run they're all 1951 models except for the H, which is a 41. We've been collecting the 2 cylinders for the last 15 years. We've been farming with John Deere equipment since 1951. So I guess we like the green.
My name is Gerald Swazer. I'm from Newfoundland, Minnesota, and I have a 1938 BR John Deere tractor. And I bought it in 1973. I restored it once, and I put it away, and then a friend of mine told me to take it out. I should take it out of storage, and then I did a lot of things wrong, so I completely done it the second time. And this is the way it is now. And I have a picture here when I bought it in '73 and when I finished it, before and after picture. And I won a trophy in 1997, Marshall County Fair. First prize, I won a trophy and $250 prize. And back here I got a John Deere plow, 214 plow, that I bought in 1974 for $12. At that time, nobody was collecting, and it was cheap, so I bought it for 12 bucks. I really restored that completely. And on the wheels, I put snowcat track, snowmobile track on the wheels because they have steel wheels, and it works a lot better instead of driving on the steel on the cement. No, I don't. I just use it for parades and show it here. And this is a 1927 horse and a half E engine I purchased from my father-in-law about a year ago. I completely done it over, put it on the cart, and I just run it just to listen to it run. I don't work it. Yeah, I show it.
What's your favorite part about restoring?
Oh, it was the challenge of doing it and taking it all apart and getting it back together. And, that's about it.
My name's Don Duffner. I'm from Buxton, North Dakota. I've been collecting John Deere since the late 60s. I've been John Deere broke since day one, I guess, because I always see another tractor I think I need.
How many do you have?
I guess I haven't taken time to count. I've got a lot of different ones, and I farm mainly with 2 cylinders yet, and I've got a big collection.
How many do you think he has?
I don't give out any numbers.
What kind of suspenders?
I have an Alice Chalmers.
I got a few hundred, I'd say that, and leave it at that. I've also got a lot of John Deere parts that I've purchased over the years when dealers wanted to get rid of their old parts. I was farming with these old 2 cylinders, and I thought, well, I can't pass an opportunity like this because I plan on continuing to farm with my 2-cylinders, and I really like them. This is a 1947 Model B cutaway tractor. It was a few of these were made by John Deere to have at the branch offices and to take around to John Deere days to show the farmers and salesmen how the tractor was built. They're real hard to find. I bought this from a friend of mine in Nebraska that had purchased it from a school which had been given to them by John Deere for kids in mechanic class to take apart and see how the tractor worked. And he got it all rebuilt and re-chromed and everything, and he just got tired of cleaning it up because it always got dirty when he took it out to show it, so he told me I could have my turn at cleaning it up and showing it. So
just the tractor wife.
the only I can say that she had Alice Chalmers on the farm when I met her. That was the popular tractor there, but I finally convinced her dad that the John Deere was a little bit better.
My name is Todd Westcott from Halston, Minnesota. I have a 1935B John Deere, brass tag serial number 2874. I picked it up just on an auction sale, restored it myself. I use it around the farm at home, pulling low plows and cultivators, stuff like that, so it's kind of fun just to restore one and use it also. Right next to it is a 1925 John Deere stationary engine. It was actually manufactured by Waterloo Gasoline Engine Company for John Deere. 1928, as far as I know, is when John Deere started to make the Type E engine with their stamped John Deere name on it. I don't have nothing that I use the engine on. I just kind of have it hang around, run it every once in a while. Actually, the one longer will start better than the 2-cylinder.
What's your favorite part about restoring tractors?
My favorite part is probably just trying to find the parts. I work at an implement dealer, so I got a lot of inquiries that I can locate parts through.
Okay, my name is Harris Billickmeyer. I'm from Barnesville, Minnesota. The tractor you're about to see is a 1935 L case. It belonged to the late Archie Thomas that died here just recently. The man's 94 years of age. He farmed with that particular tractor when he was just a young man yet. As he got older, the tractor was retired. It had its number of problems, and he seen the interest I had in old tractors, so he thought I should have it. We retrieved it from an iron pile. Norman Pross, I'm sure everybody has heard of Norman. He's the one who delivered it into town. The restoration was done at the Larson Machine Shop under the direction of Jim Bryden. As you look and see, it took a lot of work. It was in very sad shape when we brought it in. But it isn't so much the money involved, it's the time it took to put it back. We figure right around 1,000 hours were put into it to put it back in operational again. Jim Bryden, the owner of the Larson Machine Shop, was good enough to let us use his shop, and that's where a lot of the machining work was done. Tires and stuff were brought in and parts for it by different people that had farms and farmed with the same type of machinery. The paint was mixed. The paint I bought downtown wouldn't come anywhere near the color. So the paint that you see on it right now is as close to the original as you can possibly get on it. It took a complete year. It took a summer and a winter to put it to where it's at right now. Other than the fact of it doesn't work anymore. It's strictly a show tractor. It stands on roll log a lot, and it's put on display out there. Other than that, that's about all I can tell you about it.
I'm Joe Shimpa from Erskine, Minnesota, and these two tractors belong to Wayne Gustafson. This is a 1939 B John Deere that he bought from a person he used to rent land from at one time. It was in the shed out there, and it took quite a bit of restoring. And on the back of it is a Erskine snowblower. Wayne owns Erskine Manufacturing, and they've been building snowblowers since back in the 40s. And this one here he bought and had it repainted. It was in nice shape. The guy bought it brand new, used it very little. And the newer bee, that's a 1950 over there. And that one was his uncle's. He got kind of raised on that tractor when he was small. He drove it from when he was small. And did I say they belong to Wayne Gustafson? Yep. And he's the one that owns Erskine Manufacturing.
Hello, my name is Wayne Cole. I'm from Page, North Dakota, and I collect mostly Allis-Chalmers, which I've probably got 25 of them. This tractor is probably my pride because there are so few of them made and fewer left. And I bought this from a nice fellow by the name of Marcus Zimmerman in Richardson, North Dakota, and I am the second owner of this. It's a 1937 model, but he and his dad bought it in 1939, and they rose it out of the branch house in Fargo. And the price at that time was, full price was $14.95, and because it was 2 years old, they got it for $1,200. But they had to haul it to Richardson. And I had him write out what work they had done with it and what they had done to the engine, and which I can't remember now. But anyway, I'm glad I had him write that. But it was stuck when I got it. It had been sitting for 9 years. And I worked on it off and on for about 3 years and finally got it unstuck. And it didn't have a starter, and I got the stuff to make a starter or put a starter on, and I don't like cranking because I've lived all my life without a broken arm, and I don't want to start now. But anyway, then I had it and showed it a little bit, and finally one of my friends said, "That needs painting," and I said, "But I don't have all the money." He said, "You buy the paint and I will do all the work for nothing," and I could not turn that deal down. And I got the decals from a friend of mine in Nebraska that handles the decals, and I got my wife to put them on so I could blame somebody, didn't turn out right. So.
What was your funnest part about restoring this? What was the favorite part?
I don't know. I guess probably a little kind of an ego having this tractor, that's so rare. And there are people that say, "I never knew Allis-Chalmers made a tractor like that." And I guess it's just that's the fun part to me.
Hi, I'm Bob Langley from Dilworth. It's a Massey Harris 44. The people asked me to have it out here because they're having Massey Harris and Massey Ferguson out of Rolog this year, and they asked if we could have my Massey out next to their booth. I had a little bit of an advantage with the restoration. I've been working on it 3 years, but I work out at Abra Auto Body, and the guys helped me. That's why we have probably a little bit better finish than most tractors get on it. But it's as far as something unique, it was something I bought to use, and the further I went along on it, now it's something I'd be afraid to use. So now it's just kind of a little showpiece I got. But turned into a hobby I didn't expect. So that's about the whole history on it. Just a lot of work, and a lot of sweat, and a lot of looking for old parts, and trying to make something out of basically junk. So.